And yet again, another example of jobs for the boys. Although we have mentioned this on the channel before in April and in July this year, this is an update. Mike Veal, you might remember the name if you've lived in Wiltshire or Cleveland, as he was at one time Chief Constable of both forces. Whilst head of Wiltshire Police Force, he was involved in the sham of an investigation, Operation Conifer, which led to the inquiry into the allegations of sexual abuse against Edward Heath made by Carl Beach. Following the investigation, the public called for Veal to resign over the £1.5 million balls up. Veal later went on to move to Cleveland Police Force and take over as Chief Constable there, but after just 10 months, he resigned in 2019 following gross misconduct allegations. Now, the story surrounding those allegations I don't believe has been released yet, but Veal has been waiting now for his misconduct hearing since 2019. In July this year, then Home Secretary Pretty Useless Patel came under attack in the Commons from MPs after being accused of staying silent over the scandal of a former Chief Constable raking in public money as a policing advisor whilst facing gross misconduct proceedings. This claim comes about because Veal, even though waiting for misconduct proceedings, even though he had to leave Wiltshire for his crap investigation, wasting £1.5 million worth of public money, has been raking in £100,000 a year from Leicestershire's police budget as an advisor to the Leicestershire Police and Crime Commissioner, Rupert Matthews. Lord Lexton of the Conservatives said, "May I remind the House that I have used every means open to me to try and help bring the notorious Mike Veal to book ever since, as Chief Constable of Wiltshire, he conducted the appallingly biased investigation of the allegations of sex abuse against Sir Edward Heath. I also remind the House that in Cleveland, where he was Chief Constable, he is due to face a gross misconduct hearing. It was announced a year ago, but has not even started. Meanwhile, Veal lives the life of Riley on £100,000 a year as advisor to the so-called Conservative PCC for Leicestershire and Rutland, who must have taken leave of his senses. This scandal really must end. How on earth can the Home Office stand by helplessly while a disgraced ex-policeman rakes in public money? May I ask that arrangements be made for a small cross-party group from this House to see the Home Secretary as soon as possible." Labour peer Lord Back, a former PCC for Leicestershire, said, "How much longer must this farce go on? You have a twice disgraced ex-Chief Constable awaiting a gross misconduct hearing, and by law should have been heard months ago, still advising for good money a Police and Crime Commissioner in holding the Leicestershire Police to account. You couldn't make it up. The Home Secretary is never short of advising on the right and wrong. Why is she and her Home Office so silent on this scandal?" Well, even after all of that, and you would think that that would probably be enough for Mike Veal to be dealt with, or with haste, or at least give the Leicestershire Police and Crime Commissioner food for thought, it appears not, as Mike Veal has now been appointed Chief Executive Officer for the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office. Now, back in 2021, the position for Chief Executive Officer for the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner for Leicestershire was advertised with a fixed salary of £89,319 per annum. I also found an organisational structure for Leicestershire Police and Crime Commissioner's Office, which shows that Mike Veal is now number 2 in the organisation, but oddly, I can't seem to find a position for £100,000 a year role as an advisor. I also can't imagine that Mike Veal has taken a pay cut for the new position, but unfortunately in the time that I haven't been able to source information on how much he might be getting paid as the Chief Executive Officer in 2022, as all the figures I seem to be able to find right now are from 2021. But I'm sure it's going to be more than he was getting as an advisor. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of thing these organisations do with your council tax and other tax money. With such a shit show left in his wake, the Police and Crime Commissioner is happy to employ someone who has a gross misconduct hearing chasing him, failed investigations behind him and a resignation because he was so shite. But yet Rupert Matthews, no doubt for his benefit somehow rather than for the benefit of the community, deem it okay to hire such a fuck up and pay him with your money. Don't know about you lot, but this whole thing stinks of corruption.